my nails like I did yesterday.
Woo!
I nailed it here. I was like, let me go check.
Ladies and gentlemen, Push is here. Oh, yeah, bring it.
You got a good grip on that, right?
Huh?
You got a good grip on that, right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Push. Thank you for coming. Before we jump in,
What's the baseball bat for?
what's the baseball bat for? Let me tell you, friend, the
home
baseball bat
Oh,
is for how to hit a home run during Push. Before that, though, we have some Rev Rewards checks that are pretty nice. Now, Austin, you got yours, right?
Yep.
What was yours for?
$550.
$550. Round of applause for Austin. We're going to go through some of these. Some of these people may be here, some may not be. Hey, can you go grab Brittany? She's got a check. We've got the Stortson group. Is Susie here? She got a check for $528.30. Shar Schmitz, is she here? She's not. She's got a check for $818.68. And last but not least, Miss Kelly Moore, $2,474.89. Pass her on back. Check is real. All right, you guys. Well, Push is here. This is what we've been waiting for. If you guys don't have your schedule on the wall and you want your schedule on the wall just for accountability, let us know and we'll fill it out. I think it's always good if people outside of you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. It just helps you perform better.
And why are you looking at me, Brandon? No.
How can you tell when
I'm
I'm looking at
saying,
you? You see
yeah,
my
why
eyes?
are you looking?
She's feeling real guilty right now. And that's good. Guilt is a great motivator. But let's do this really quick. I'm going to walk you through just a couple of real simple tips. And then we're going to go through a little visualization on what Push could be and what it could look like. Now, we're calling this thing the $30,000 Push. Here is why. If you embrace Push, no matter where you are in the game, if you're a $150,000 a year earner, do what you do every single day. Keep working that, but invest in Push 4 times a year, 5 weeks. You've got a 2-week wrap up and a 3-week push. So it's 5 weeks times 4 times a year. That's 20 weeks out of 52 that we have Push. Do that, and you will double your income from $150,000 a year to $300,000 a year. All you have to do is invest in it and put in the time. Push ends, go back to normal. But here's the $30,000 Push. It's 25 hours a week of prospecting. Doesn't include showing houses. Doesn't include going out and writing contracts, negotiating. This is straight pick up the phone, old school marketing. 25 hours a week. If you do that, you should hit 20 calls an hour. That's 500 calls per week times 3. So you're going to make 1,500 calls over the next 3 weeks. When you do that, you're going to find that you've got 18 checklists or appointments. When you do that, you're going to find that you're going to meet 70% of these guys. So you're going to meet about 12. We call them Mets. And you're going to close 5 to 6 at a minimum. I say minimum because if you suck at communicating, if you suck with people, you'll still close 5 to 6. If you've got talent behind what you're saying, you'll close more than this. But if you close 5 at an average commission of $6,700, and this is NCI that we're talking about, net commission income after the split, your income will be over $33,000. And there it is. Added to whatever else you're doing. Now we're going to track this because this is not going to happen overnight. But we would say in the next 5 to 6 months, that's the pop you'll see just from push. And then everything else will just kind of naturally happen. So now here's some tips. Number 1, you want to stay focused on your objective. Not your neighbor's objective, not your coworker, not your best friend. Stay focused on you and your objective during the push. Eye on the prize. So what are your target numbers? Is it 20 hours a week? Good. Attack 20. Is it 25 hours? Attack 20. But here's what you should be tracking, and you're going to do this in your planner. You guys ready? This is the numbers you want to track. Number of hours. Track the number of calls that you make, the number of conversations that you have, and the number of appointments that you're getting. So every day in your planner, every call you make, you're tracking with a little hashtag. The idea is, what is it going to take you to get to 500 calls? Are you one of those guys that can come in 3 days and get to 500, or do you need 5 days or 6 days? Maybe you're working for 20 hours. What should your goal be? 400 calls. So what's that going to take to get there? But either way, if you get to here and you're having quality conversations, here's where your focus should be. This is the tip as far as staying focused on the objective. Whitney, you're my client. I call you. We start talking. I'm going to keep you on the phone, and I'm going to trial close you over and over and over again. Now, why am I going to trial close her? Because at some point, she's going to say yes. So what's a trial close? Trial close is this. We're talking. We're kind of connecting. She's viable. So what do I say to her? Hey, Whitney, you know what? We should just get together. Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Let's just talk about what you want, in a home. That's a push for an appointment. You know what, Brandon, I'm kind of good. Like I said, I'm at the beginning stages. Hey, no problem. I know I'm looking in different areas that might hit your price range. Yeah, I might be. And then we talk some more. And at some point in the near future, 2, 3, 4 minutes, I will soft push her again, getting through phone calls. If you're just getting through phone calls, it's going to be a long push period for you. Seek out conversations. What's going to make somebody call you back to get in a conversation? Here's the deal with push, and you saw this quote out there. If it doesn't challenge you, you're never going to change. If you go in and say, well, I'm just going to do my 10 hours a week, that's what I've been doing. I'm just going to work from my house because that's what I've been doing. Nothing you do will change until you change. This should be tough. This should be something where it's not me pushing you, but you've set a goal for yourself and you're like, you know what? If I did this, everything changes. Yeah, but Brandon said, he says if I come in a little, I don't know if I believe that. Just try to trust me. Trust us. For 3 weeks. And if you don't see the difference, go back to what you've been doing. And if it's not working, what you've been doing, don't expect that going back to it will change things. So every hour that you work, you should make 20 calls. A 15% connect rate is what you should be shooting for. What does that mean? In 20 calls, you should talk to 3 people. Now, you could get the brush off. Hey, you know what? I was looking a long time ago. I'm not interested. Click. But you're also going to find people that will engage you in conversation. Every 5 hours that you work, you'll make 100 phone calls. At a 15% connect rate, you'll have had conversations with 15 people. What's going to happen with those 15 people? Think about that. If that doesn't get you excited, then what will? You call 100 people, 15 of them answer. How many of them are qualifiable? Do you know? Or are you accepting their no and not progressing the calls? If you're accepting the no and not progressing the calls, boo on you. If they tell you no, fight to get a yes. Be excited about the business. You know what Brittany should be fired up about? A $327 revenue rewards check. Brittany Ryan. Woo! Nice job, Brittany. All right. How many people are you going to connect with? How many people are you going to help get into a house? How many deals are you going to fight for? And it all goes back to one thing. And it's right here. If you take away anything from this meeting, you want to attack the phone. If my push period is a success, it's because I attacked the phone. Chance, what are you going to do during push?
Call?
No.
Attack.
No, you're not. You're not. No, stop. You're not going to call. You're going to attack the phone. Kelly, what are you going to do? Jackie Tracy,
Attack the phone.
attack the phone. My friend Whitney, what are you going to do?
Call.
She's going to call. And I can say that you're my friend. I love that. We're friends, right?
Yes, right.
Here we go. So what do you want to do during push?
Attack the phone.
What do you want to do?
Attack the phone.
Attack the phone, baby. Number 2, treat every lead like $1 million cash buyer. I asked Jared, I said, Jared, give me a tip, man. Like, what's the secret sauce for making phone calls? Treat every lead like $1 million cash buyer. And why do you do that?
Referrals. That's the most exciting that you're going to be.
Because how fired up would you be if you had $1 million cash buyer on the phone right now? Would your energy be different? Your math skills would be like super honed in. Because you're like 1,000,000 times 0.028. Oh my God, hello, how are you? I love you. Everything gets better if you're dealing with $1 million cash buyer. But if you treated the $250,000 guy like he was $1 million cash buyer, what level of service would that person get and would they refer? I love this quote. Jared said this. He said, there is a referral around every client. What are you doing to earn it? That's a great quote. There's a referral around every client. What are you doing to earn it? So work the lead backwards. So you get this lead. You know, one of Jared's lines. Jared, you want to go through your lines? You want me to do it? I'll do it. Jared assumes. He assumes that everybody is a cash buyer. So he says, I assume you're paying cash. No, I'm actually getting financing. Now, if they're going to be, if they're a cash buyer, what do we have to get?
Proof of funds.
Proof of funds. If they're a finance buyer, what do we need?
Lender letter.
A lender letter, right? So what's next for the client? So I assume you're paying cash. I'd love to show you this weekend. Can I get your proof of funds? Oh, no, I'm not a cash buyer. I need to get financing. Oh, who's your lender? Can I get a lender letter? What's next for the client? Oh, I haven't spoken to a lender yet. I'm not pre-approved. What's next? Let me get you to my lender. There's little tips that you can do, but it's what's next. Are you engaging them, or are you letting a client that registered on our website control the conversation? Think about that one. Who's controlling who? Do we let the client control us, or do we control them? We control them by asking questions. We control them by assuming that they're a cash buyer, the best of the best. We control them by assuming they're going to use us. No doubt. By assuming that every single person they know, they're going to refer our services to. We get to this point where we get somebody on the phone and we assume that they're $1 million cash buyer. We get there only one way. And I think you guys know what the way is.
Attack the phone.
How is it?
Attack the phone.
Awesome.
Attack the phone.
Attack the phone. Chance, you're going to make phone calls?
Nope.
I wasn't very confident. What are you going to do, Chance?
Attack the phone.
Attack the phone. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We got a few more minutes. We're going to attack the phone. Number 3, if you're taking notes, indiscriminate support. What does that mean? Indiscriminate support. That means we do not discriminate. We give every client the same level of support, the same level of service, no matter what. And I'll go back to Jared's quote. There's a referral around every client. What are you doing to earn it? So how do we earn it? How do we not discriminate? This is on the phone, man. This is what we do. How do we not discriminate?
Treat everyone like your best friend.
$1 million buyers.
Treat them like you're their best friend. Treat them like they're $1 million buyers. We over communicate. Now, some people would say, oh, that's just communication in general. I would disagree. Because we've all experienced the agent that doesn't communicate. And you know what drives me nuts? Is the agent that is sitting there, waiting for a response from a title company or a different lender or the listing agent. They're not calling their client, and the client waits. And they wait. And they wait. Getting antsier and antsier and antsier about what's going on. Why not just give a friendly call with the over communication saying, hey, you know what, Kyle? I left a voicemail for the listing agent. I have not heard back yet. As soon as I do, you're the first person I call. over communication, service with a smile. Are we selling something, or are we providing customer service? If you view it as providing customer service, you're going to knock it out of the park every time. We under-promise and we over-deliver. Give before you get. So think about this. When was the last time in your prospecting efforts that you shared the mobile app with somebody?
Yesterday.
Good. Every lead, man, share that mobile app. Go in there, share it via text, send it out. And then just send a follow-up text. Hey, Adam, it's Brandon. I just sent you a link to our mobile app. It's going to help you with your search. Can you please let me know you got it? He responds back, oh, I got it. Now I know Adam is what? Adam's real. That's all you want to find out initially. Is the client real? Get your referrals. Do your research. Give professional recommendations. And you know what? Jared just walked out. There was a situation that Jared had years ago. Calls up a client, calls up a website lead. This particular website lead was looking for a neighbor. And Jared, do you remember the name of that client? They were looking for one of their neighbors.
It was Mark.
It was Mark.
With Austin.
Okay, so Jared was the rainmaker, gave a deal to Austin, and what happened with Mark?
Well, it was more Sarah. Sarah's the neighbor. She was the lead registration. Hey, thanks for registering with us. How can I help? Oh, I'm helping my neighbor. Oh, can I get your neighbor's number? No. Can I stay in touch with you? Sure. Hey, Sarah, it's Jared. How can I help? How's your neighbor? Hey, Sarah, it's Jared. How can I help? How can I help your neighbor? Finally, I got the call. Hey, it's the neighbor. And I think that's where it stemmed from. We could have had 3 deals from it, but we gave up on one because we didn't want to work with it. But I think we found it from sticking with the lead.
How interesting. Providing service no matter what, because there's always a chance because of your service and follow-up. Because that neighbor's going to see how frustrated their friend is. And they're going to say, you know what, you just got to call my guy. You got to call my girl, man. She's awesome. And that's how we get business. Now, that happened, that indiscriminate support happens because of one thing. And this is what Jared's really good at. And anybody that's closing CHFR deals in volume is good at this. Attacking the phone. Brittany, what are you going to do on the phone? Attack it. With your teeth. You're going to bite into it. These leads are here, baby. Don't leave meat on the bone. No meat gets left. Set appointments with everybody that you can. Every single person that you can. Check this number out. Until you're closing one deal every single week, that means you're closing 52 transactions a year. You're making $350,000 with Colorado Home Finder. Until that happens, you should be pushing for an appointment with every single person who's looking to buy under 18 months. But Brandon, they live in Ohio. Good, buy a plane ticket. Get out there, meet them. You want to meet them. Because all of that's going to result in business your way. And lots of it. Why don't we just meet for 30 minutes at Starbucks? Let me buy you a cup of coffee. We can talk about your goal of buying a home. What if you've completed a checklist for one of your leads? Everything looks great. Well, go talk to the lender and they'll get you pre-approved. Bullshit. What do you say? Based on what you've told me, everything looks really good. I'd love the chance to show you some of the homes that meet your criteria, and I have some time available on Thursday at 9 o'clock or 11. What works best for you? And then you stop talking. And you wait for what they say. Because most people are so weak, they're going to give into that. You know what, Thursday's just a really bad day for me. You know what, I've got my schedule in front of me right now. I've got some time on Friday. I'm actually working in the morning already, but I can do 1 o'clock or I can do 4. What works best for you on Friday? Do we accept their no, I can't meet you? Or do we handle it and then push again? This is how you hit a home run during push. Because you're doing just that. You're pushing someone. You're challenging them. Because here's the deal. Maybe, for whatever reason, they don't want to go out and start looking right now. Maybe they're content waiting a month, 2 months. But now you get them out there to look at one home. You meet them, you show them the property. Then you get a call a few days later. Hey, Brandon, we found one more. Can you show us this one? And now you've got them. Because what you did was you put the bait in front of them They took it, and now you've got their business for good. Or do you play it safe because you don't want to offend them? This is push. Push for the deal. Push for the appointment. And don't stop until the job is done. You put up the good fight and you take what's yours. And it's all because, by the way, you did what?
Attack the phone.
God, you did what?
Attack the phone.
Show some energy, baby. You did what?
Attack the phone.
Let me walk you through a really cool scenario. Let me walk you through a push and what it feels like. I've walked through about 20 of these in a direct sales environment where we finished 9th in America out of about 500 offices. What I can tell you, this kind of push environment works if you embrace it and believe in it. But you have to visualize what's possible for yourself. Do you believe in yourself and your ability to get the job done? I can tell you right now, just knowing ramp-up numbers from some of you, ramp-up was a success. We've shown a ton of people from the ramp-up period. That's not even a full-on push. A ramp is if you normally do 10 hours or 12 hours, you continue doing that the first week. The second week, you might bump it to 15. But by that third week, the start of push, whatever your goal is, 25 hours, 30 hours, and hopefully it's obscene and it scares the crap out of you. Hopefully you've set a goal where every time you sit down and you leave, you pee a little bit because you're nervous about hitting the goal. I said it, you can get nervous. But you keep fighting to hit your goal. Let's visualize what's going to happen. Visualize your $30,000 push. How many hours are you going to work?